Hello everyone. This is the web IDE Sync IPM, AMA and AMER edition. Yes. So we have few issues to wait on this occasion. So I think it's gonna be a short one. Let's start with this one that is scheduled for the current milestone. Um, Rename new IDE methods to IDE after legacy web IDE removal. I created this issue, and after we removed the legacy web IDE on the previous milestone, there were some helpers that were prefixed with new to differentiate them from the same helper implementation that was using the legacy web IDE. So this is as simple as looking for those and removing that prefix and updating its references. Cool. Yeah, it's there is no much to it, so I think that we can just like go ahead and wait. One, two, three. Yeah, is a one. I think that Joseph agrees. I don't know if you there's something in the chat. Yes, I see that one from Joseph here too. Sounds good. So we have a anonymous choice. Let's go to the next one. This also a follow-up to the removal of the legacy web ID. And there are I found that there were some code from the legacy web ID implementation that is still used in other features in the GitLab application. They are used by the single file editor that is based on Monaco. We were using that component as well in the legacy web IDE, but like I apparently like there was some code reuse between both features. And what this issue proposes in the acceptance criteria is to move those modules where they are used. There are other references in the div application as well, but they are way more smaller. It's mostly for the single file editor. Do you have any questions or comments?
Nope.
Okay, so let's wait then. One, two, three. Ooh, A2. Let's see. So why would you say that this is a two, Cindy?
Um, I think it's just getting to understand how it's currently used, making sure there's no regressions there in case it's not just a straightforward, changing the imports. Um, yeah, I think I'm just adding room there just in case it's not like a straightforward, you know,
That's true.
fix.
I feel like there might be some knowns. It's more than one feature. So it's like it's diffs and the single file editor. So yeah, it's good to have like some space for uncertainty. Let me see what is Joseph estimation here. Okay. Yes, Joseph, it is a refactor. There is no changing functionality. It's mostly moving code around. Functionality should stay the same. Okay, so yeah, it's you agree with Cindy in the two, so I'm going to set a two here. Let's go to the next one. Um, so investigate correct value for the resource URL template field in the extensions marketplace configuration. So this issue is that we have to set this field both in workspaces and the web ID. I don't remember exactly the purpose of it. I think that it might be related um, to downloading the assets of an extension artifact. The thing is that we are not sure what should be the structure of this URL. I refined the acceptance criteria in this issue because there is no documentation. It is not documented in the OpenVSX, the documentation that they provide. So what I recommend is that we go to other open source projects that also rely on OpenVSX and we check what value they use in there. So we are consistently using it. Like if it is working for them and they have the same value on their configuration, probably that's the structure that we have to use as well. What do you think about that goal? Sounds good?
Um, question, like,
Mhm.
so it seems like the, I guess, sort of similar products that are listed there. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they're mostly like workspaces. Like, how would this impact like the web IDE as well? Because, and I guess my question is, the scope of this investigation is for both web IDE and workspaces, right? Okay.
I think that the configuration should not be different uh,
Mm,
when VS Code is either web or desktop
right.
or remote development as workspaces. That's my assumption, but it may also be something that we discover in by looking at the products. I know that VS Codium is desktop, and Coder
Mm,
and Open VS Code are remote development, but we don't have a web
okay.
version of it. Um, but yeah, there is also VS Code.dev that
Hmm.
but that one is using Microsoft
Different.
Marketplace, so that won't
Right.
work.
That's good. Right. This is OpenVSX, so that's why we chose these products as
Mhm.
a reference. Cool.
Let me see if Joseph has some comments. This is not a spike, Joseph. I say that, well, yeah, I think it is a spike because it doesn't have as a result a change in the product. It only creates we will create a follow-up issue to make changes if we detect that there is that our current value is not correct. So I'm gonna add, it's a very good observation. I'm going to add a second criteria to create, well, a fourth one, create a follow-up issue. If resource URL template is incorrect in the web ID and workspaces. And then that would be the implementation issue. Thanks for pointing that out. Cool. So ready to wait? Cool.
Yep.
One, two, three. Okay, so let's see what is Joseph.
Hmm.
Wait. Um, I think that Joseph says that only two if it is difficult to find implementation in other products. Um, yeah, I think that it might like we can find it in the GitHub repository, or I think that we can find that setup in there, which should be easy. I chose two because I E3 products. I don't know if they have like similar repository structures. So I don't know exactly like I know that Coder stores these as patches. I don't know how it's stored in VS Code server. So I saw like um some room for like for variability in there. But at the same time, I know that it's like just like checking their product JSON configuration. So I can see how it is. It could be potentially simpler. So I'm fine with going with that one.
I think I'm more swayed with the two now because I might have underestimated the challenges in looking into where to find this field. So I'm okay with just giving more room as well. Um, and worst case, if it ends up being simpler than we think, we need to create those issues if it's incorrect. And that deserves a point on its own, I think. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
If we are like if all of us are have an uncertainty, probably it's that equals a strong two. So let's go with two then. Okay, so last one. Add aka .ms as a trusted domain in the web ID. So this is a follow-up issue that was that was created after um, I think after the first iteration of the extensions marketplace. And the idea is that when you click on an extension that is not supported on the web-only VS Code, VS Code will give you a link where you can read more about this limitation. And when you click it now on the web IDE, it will first display this dialog where it asks you if you want to actually like trust this domain. Um, it won't appear again if you add that URL to the trusted domains. And our Taylor, the I think the product designer that worked with us before, recommended us to just not display this dialog if it is possible. So the idea is that we add AKS MS to trusted domains as default in the web ID configuration, so the dialog doesn't appear anymore.
And what is ek.ms though? Like, is that actually a like
Mhm.
um does that is that just like the Magic Python site, or
No,
like do we
it's
actually trust
mhm.
that domain? I guess is my question.
It's trustworthy. It's trustworthy. Yeah, it's let me look for an extension now, one that is not supported. So this is the VS Code official documentation, and it explains why some extensions are not supported in a web environment.
Okay, that's cool then. So this is actually applicable for all extensions that are not compatible. So that's nice. Okay,
Yeah.
good to know.
So yeah, do you have like any observations or comments about the implementation?
And sorry, I don't want to get into too much of the implementation, but the list of trusted domains, is that within the web IDE layer or like the VS Code fork?
It's gonna be web ID layer. We have like access to that like configuration object, so it wouldn't require fork changes.
Okay, good to know.
Cool. So ready to wait? Okay. One, two, and three. Let's see. Joseph, wait here. Yeah. Okay. So we all agree on one. Let's set it here. And we are done for the day. And I think like we don't have a lot of we don't have more issues to wait now. I'm gonna refresh the board. I think like next time that we refine, as we're discussing, we're gonna refine a few issues that we also have scheduled for the next 1 to 3 releases. And then actually like we this one is refined, Cindy. Would you like to it's okay if I set the refine label
Yeah,
we
yeah,
wait it as
sure.
well?
If let's do it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I wasn't sure because I think I left. I'm gonna set this as refined if there are no other concerns. So, um, yeah, it's ready when we feel like it.
Okay. So okay,
Um,
so this one is yours. Would you like to give us a an
yeah,
explanation and then we wait?
yeah, sure. So, yeah, so this issue is really to simplify the example app by using configuration files. And the reason for this sort of improvement is there are two, I guess, that we can think of. First being that whenever we introduce new configurations within the Web IDE, um, like in order to test this out in the example app, we would have this form that we would have to fill out, and we would have to potentially add a new component there. So that could be quite cumbersome. And as we, you know, think about Playwright, our integration tests, and how it leverages the example app, like this means that every time we want to test out a new feature that, involves some configuration, we'll have to sort of tinker with the UI. So that would add additional effort as well when, we're writing these tests. And so, yeah, those are kind of the motivations but behind simplifying it. And so if you scroll down within this issue, I've laid out an implementation plan as to how we can use configurations, like configuration files, along with like a profile.json to sort of populate it. That way we could actually skip the UI entirely, making it a lot simpler to start up the example app and get started testing out our changes. Yeah, I also linked the prototype branch there too. So, you know, like I think it's kind of chunky. We could break it down if you decide to go with that approach, but if not, yeah, like all the steps are kind of laid out there.
Amazing. Yeah, I
Mhm.
don't have like any suggestion to change the approach or the acceptance criteria. I think that's is great and it's basically like now we're gonna pass this. We're gonna generate a config object based on the profiles, right? And then we pass it
Yeah,
directly to npm package.
correct.
Yeah, sounds good.
And I think some highlights for the acceptance criteria, like this is where I think multiple MRs can come in play, is that besides, removing the example app UI and handling the configuration files, we also need to upgrade our existing Playwright tests to remove the UI portion as well, and also to update the WebID documentation because I think right now, like the environment setup docs, refer to the example app UI, so we'd want to also update that.
Okay. Yeah, it's there are several moving parts, but it's work that doesn't have many unknowns. I think that is clear what we have to do. It's just like there is a lot of there are several tasks involved, right?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm ready to wait. Are you, Joseph? Well, Joseph's probably ready to. Um, cool. So, shall we?
Let's do it.
Okay. One, two, three.
Ooh. I'm
Let's
down for
see.
three as well. It's okay.
Joseph chooses three as well. But what do you think is a two, Cindy?
I think it's because I've kind of already done the work. So I'm really biased in that front. So I'm totally fine with three as well. And I think like it's fair to note that, like the approach I took is probably not the best one either. There's other solutions there. So I'm down to give it more room for possible improvements and stuff.
Well, let's say like let's give it a three because I don't know if you already updated the docs as well and the
Mhm.
integration test. So maybe like in that way you create like some space for to do all of that as well.
Yeah, let's do that then.
Cool. So now we have these three remaining issues. Let's split it between could be between the three of us and we get it ready to be weighted next week. Awesome. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Thank you so much, folks. It was good to see you and see you in the next IPM. Bye
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
bye.